Good evening, Hopewell friends. This is Pastor Mike coming to you with our Wednesday night Bible study. I hope that you've had a good week. Hope you've been in contact with other members of the church and maybe people who live around you and check on people. Hope you're doing well. We're continuing this week with our Bible questions for our Bible studies on Wednesday night. Our questions tonight come from Renette Cranford. The first two questions kind of revolve around the same person, around Mary. And her question was, do we think that Mary had seen Jesus do miracles before turning the water into wine? And why would Jesus turn away his mother and brothers in Luke 8:19 through 21, if they believed in him, or at least if his mother understood who he was, why would they be turned away? So let's deal with this first of all. The first I want to deal with is the idea of who does Mary believe Jesus is? Because I don't think that she would have asked him to do change the water into wine, or to get involved in that, and that she believed that Jesus could do it. And the second part on that is that Jesus did not turn away his mother and brothers. If you look at the scripture in Luke 8:19 through 21, it says that the mother and brothers could not get to Jesus. There were so many people there that they could not get to him. So I don't believe it was a matter of him turning away. It's just that they couldn't get to him. Now his brothers never really believed who he was until after the resurrection, especially James, his brother James, who we know after Jesus' resurrection became a leader in the early church in Jerusalem. And so it took that kind of miracle for his brother James to believe in him. We don't really know about the others and what they did at that point. But it's obvious James, once he saw Jesus after the resurrection appeared to him, he became a leader in the early church. So now back to Mary and what she believed Jesus to be. I know that she understood, at least as much as she could as a young lady, that she was going to be the mother of the Messiah. Now, did she realize at that point that the things that Jesus was going to do? Would she have any idea? I'm not sure that she would have, except that the people in that day and time believed the Messiah was there as much as anything as to lead them out of captivity, to lead them out of from under the Roman rule. So as probably a 15 or 16-year-old young girl, she may not have understood all the ramifications of what it meant to be the mother of the Messiah, except that the Messiah was the one person that the nation of Israel had been waiting on. So we realize that she believed him to be special. Now, along the way, the Holy Spirit might have revealed to her more about what he was capable of doing or what he needed to do. I believe the turning the water into wine, I think for the most part, was Mary wanting Jesus to be involved in the community service. Usually weddings lasted about a week during that day and time. And if the host ran out of wine, it was kind of an insult. So if Mary believed him to be the Messiah, I'm not really sure if she believed he could do this miracle, turn the water into wine, or that as the Messiah, he could do something else as far as getting more wine to provide for the party. So when she told the servants to do what he'd asked, I think she had a pretty good consideration that Jesus was going to take care of it, whatever he did. I don't know if it really reads into it that she believed he was going to turn the water into wine. But Jesus did say to her, he said, "My time has not come yet." And I believe what Jesus meant by that was that, I'm not ready to be revealed yet as the Messiah, revealed as this miracle worker, but being an obedient son to his mother, he obeyed her and he listened to her. It showed the kind of respect he had for her. So if his mother wanted him to get involved, then Jesus got involved. And so that's about him. That's why he got involved with the turning the water into wine, at least I believe. I don't believe that she had seen him do miracles before then. It doesn't say it anywhere, and we really don't know, but I think this was probably the first time, because he did say it's not my time yet. So if he had done miracles before, it'd have been a risk of him coming out as the Messiah, the chosen one, and his time would have started sooner than it was supposed to. So anyway, that's the two parts on that question. I believe that Mary understood him to be the Messiah. Not sure she understood if he was going to do those kinds of miracles, but Jesus did obey her at the wedding at Cana and got involved and did turn the water into wine. And then the part in Luke 8:19-21, it's not that Mary and the brothers were turned away by Jesus. They just could not get to him because of the crowd. The brothers didn't really believe until after the resurrection. I believe Mary was there because she was the head of the, she was the mother, head of the household. Joseph was dead. And when Jesus said to them, he said, your mother and your brothers are here to see you. It's not that he rejected them. He was trying to make a point. He said, my mother and my brothers are the ones who do my will, or do the will of God. So I think he was trying to make a point. If you want to be a part of my family, you need to do the will of God, whatever that might be. The second question, next question from Renette Cranfer was, why did sometimes Jesus not want people to tell about the miracle that he had just performed or the good thing he just done? He'd say sometimes, don't go tell people, go to your family, do whatever, and was not interested in other people knowing. There are a couple good reasons for that. First of all, Jesus was not about being a showboat. He didn't want to do miracles just to do miracles. He was genuinely interested in the people themselves, about being healed, being made whole, being right with God. And so he was only interested in that. You see, and so what they wanted, some of them wanted, was to go tell people so everybody would come and hear Jesus. They wanted people to know, and Jesus was afraid was afraid it would turn into a sideshow and not a point of true healing. So he was concerned about that. The other thing he was concerned about was that he was concerned about it wasn't his time to ultimately show himself as the Messiah of Israel. Now, along the way, toward the end of his ministry, he began to allow people to tell other people about what he'd done, and stuff, because it was getting close to that time. But you remember, there were some points during all this, that he was in places like Jerusalem. There's that if the Pharisees and Sadducees got a hold of what he was doing, and they would probably try to kill him, stone him, and in fact, was it last Wednesday night before, we were talking about this verse of scripture where they're about to stone him because they said he blasphemed and said he was Son of God. So we see that was a possibility wherever he went. Sometimes he went quietly and secretly to places because he didn't want to draw the attention. So for those two reasons, basically the reasons why he didn't want sometimes for people to know is he would say, don't tell people. Remember the lepers? The 10 lepers that he healed, he told them to go show the priests to show that they were healed, bring their offering, to be right with the Lord in their offering, and go to their families. But not go tell other people, because, he probably was in a place where it would have drawn huge crowds, and he wasn't interested in drawing a huge crowd. He was about helping those lepers. It was about the lepers, not about him and what he was doing at that point, because We know that many times when he was doing miracles, people were there just for the show. You know, at the end, when some of the things that Jesus was telling them that were hard sayings and things that he would tell them about, he lost a lot of disciples. People were following because they couldn't understand these things and they thought they were hard sayings and they couldn't follow along with it. So in the end, when he started revealing more and more about himself, he began losing people because those people were just interested in the sideshow, you know, and some were just interested in, you know, the Jesus overthrowing the Romans and not about the spiritual aspect of all this. So those are the two big reasons, or that why sometimes Jesus would not want people to know what he'd done. It wasn't his time, and he was all about the people and about making them feel whole and well. It was not about him. Anyway, hope we've answered your questions tonight. We'd love for you to send us some more questions. We'd love to answer them. Have a good week. We'll see you Sunday morning back here at hopewellfriends.com or on Facebook. Have a great week.